It is Bruins Benders postgame live on the Inside the Rink YouTube channel with Matty and Smitty. Click subscribe. Get your Bruins Benders merch on InsideTheRink.com/Bruins-Benders. Follow us on social media at Bruins Benders. Matty, Smitty, and the Bruins take another OT loss at home. This time to the Toronto Maple Leafs, 4-3 in overtime. The Bruins blow a 3-0 lead, then get a goal by the only guy on the team who's played all season, David Pastrnak, to give them the lead. And then once again, with 46 seconds to go, with the goalie pulled, the Bruins look like Keystone Cops. They cough up the puck a million times. And finally, the Maple Leafs tie it.
Yeah.
And then Mitch Marner, pay that guy.
Yeah.
He scores to win it.
Future Bruin Mitch Marner.
Right.
Tell you what, when he scored, I literally laughed out loud.
Yeah.
I laughed out loud. I was like, this fucking team, you've got to be kidding me. I laughed out loud. I mean, what in the absolute our decor? Wow, awful.
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 Look,
I mean, people want to shit on McAvoy. Yeah, this is what it looks like when he's not around. And without him is Lindholm. It's a bunch of clowns back there. Zadorov had maybe the worst shift of his life, followed up by the second worst shift of his life with 6 seconds left.
Yeah.
The first one, he behind the back passes to no one, and the Leafs bailed him out. And then they quick transition, and Matthews almost blows by him. Swayman has to make a save. Skates off. The next time he's on the ice, they score with 46 seconds left.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't know what's going. I mean, I don't even know what to say about it anymore. I don't know what to say about it anymore. Other than the selling should have started already. That's what I'll say. Should have started already. And instead, Trent Frederic's hurt. Now, how do you sell a guy that's injured?
You don't.
Yeah.
You don't. So just what I thought might happen.
Yeah.
Did I text that to you guys? Say I wonder
You did.
Yeah, I said watch Frederic get hurt or watch someone get hurt.
Yeah,
and he did.
We were talking about Brazeau being held out and like, okay, so trade him now. So he doesn't get hurt, and then Frederic gets hurt. He's in the lineup.
Right. And they were giving optional practices because we thought they didn't want anybody getting hurt in practice. So what happens? Frederic gets hurt today. And now, like you said, you're screwed. You get 5 games until the trade deadline. And if he's out for 2 weeks, I mean, is someone going to want to trade for the guy? And then you're going to sign him. So now he's going to walk.
Yeah.
I mean,
the mismanagement by this team, it's hard to put into words.
Yeah, I'll put it into words. It's fucking moronic.
Well, there you go.
What it is. That's 2 words. Yeah, it's absolutely unbelievable. What are you waiting for? All we've heard for the last 2 months is this: multiple teams interested in this guy and this guy and this guy. What are you waiting for? Tell you what he's waiting for. Yes, Sweeney is just not getting the right deal. So know what's going to happen? He's going to have a schmenza in his hands again, and he's going to let him walk like DeBrusque walked. And you're the only assets you really have, you're letting walk when you don't have any draft picks. You can't develop any players. Then you don't let them play. So what are you going to end up with?
You're going to end up with your cock in hand.
Yes, nothing. Zero is what you're going to end up with. Nothing. End up with a shit team.
Yeah, a mediocre team, which is worse than having a shit team.
Worse.
This is where you're going to be. You're going to be in fucking Sweeney's purgatory for the next fucking 5 to 7 years. Just fucking wasting David Pasternak's ability on a bunch of fucking clowns out there, finishing 10th every fucking year.
How long before Pastrnak gets pissed off? Like tonight, I'm watching him in going into the overtime. They showed Pastrnak on a bench, and he's just like, like eye rolling and shaking his head, and I mean, what more can he do? What more can he do?
He can't do anything more.
No.
He has the most points in the league since January 1st. He's got 30 goals again. That's the 8th time in 9 years he's done it.
Mm-hmm.
The only year he didn't was the COVID shortened season.
Mm-hmm.
And most of those years he had 34 or more. So he has 30 this year. He'll probably eclipse 34 again, but 34 or more in 8 straight years.
Sure.
8 out of 9 years. Sorry.
Yeah, he had a COVID year. It was the only year.
Yeah. So I mean, the guy should be getting Hart Trophy votes. He should be.
He should be.
You should be in the conversation for it. I mean, I know the people having better years on good teams, but if he wasn't on this team, oh my God, they blow.
Oh my God,
they blow already. Yeah. But my God, they would be San Jose. They would be Chicago. They would be one of these teams with 40 points. If he wasn't on the fucking team, it would be
really bad. Who would score? Like, who would score? It's just, I don't know. I'm at a loss. Like tonight, Lowry looked really, really good. But then again, the defensive deficiencies, like he heals a puck and whatever, and they go in for a breakaway. They don't score, but that's, whatever. That's not a bad decision. That's just he healed the puck off his stick. Right. But tonight, like he's trying to keep that puck in. He doesn't quite get to it, and then they go the other way and they score. I mean, offensively, he's great. Offensively, he did some awesome things. I mean, he played great the first period. He was all over the ice. I felt like he played the whole first period because every time he was out there, he was noticeable.
His probably his best first period of the year. In period one. He was awesome. Yes. Second period, he was good. Right. And then the third period, I thought the whole team, not just him, but the whole team, for whatever reason, decided to take their fucking foot off the gas, which is what they always do. It's like, oh, yeah, we're playing really well. Oh, we got this in the bag. Like, no more urgency. You're in the third period against a team that's first place in your division, and you are out of the motherfucking playoffs.
Right.
Show some fucking urgency.
I know. It was unbelievable.
For fuck's sake.
It was unbelievable.
Sorry, John.
It was unbelievable.
And then he's trying to make a play at the end. You can't really fault him there. Mm-hmm. He almost got to it, almost made a play, but and then it doesn't work out, and it's 3-on-3. And then Marner comes in and just smooth as fucking silk, just tucks that baby home.
Yeah.
Marner again, awesome, unbelievable.
Marner's showing right now that he's worth all the monies.
Oh, sure. He made a pass to Matthews in overtime that they didn't score on, but it was one of those like between the legs, like pass back behind, like fuck me.
I know.
Like this creativity with him in playmaking that most people don't have. So
can you imagine Marner and Pastrnak?
That's what I'm talking about. I want to see future Bruin.
Oh my God,
Mitchell Marner. But I tell you what, the Leafs have more cap space than you do, so he's signed.
The Leafs have got to sign him. I mean, you got to put all your eggs in Matthews and Nylander and Marner, and then figure the rest of it out.
I mean, Tavares is a free agent, but they're going to let him walk. He's the one they'll let walk.
Later.
Yeah, smart. And keep Marner because he's dynamic. He really is.
And he's betting on himself by not extending early.
Sure.
And holding out hope that he's even said, like, I'm not going to talk extension, blah blah blah. It's going to go to bidding war, whatever. And at least I've got to try to keep him. But I'm telling you, if he gets there, then the Bruins 100% have to pull like they did with John Tavares a few years ago, and pull out the stops.
Oh yeah, throw the bag at him.
They've got to throw the bag and all the stuff. They've got to bring John Busick, and they got to do all the things.
Yep.
100%. I mean, that's the type of guy they need. They need a superstar playmaker, and that would be an incredible top line. Here's the other thing. I thought Pavel Zacha blew chunks today. Like there was one time in the overtime where he had all the time in the world, and they had this a few times in the overtime. I mean, I think it was the end of the regulation when they were ahead, where he throws the puck and just kind of throws a puck right at Matthews, who knocks it down and walks in and gets a golden opportunity. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, look, I've said it a million times. The IQ of the guys on this team, hockey IQ, not great. Not great.
Yeah,
and that's probably why that's probably the reason that he's been floating around in like mediocrity, Zacha. He has all the talent in the world.
He does.
Yeah, I mean, he's got speed, he's got size, he has a pretty good shot. When he decides to use it, you know, he can do things offensively. But I'll tell you, he has got a 10-cent head. He really does. I mean, he just doesn't have the hockey IQ. Like a lot of their guys don't.
Yeah, they don't
make decisions.
They don't. There's no update on Ty Anderson. There's no update on Trent Frederic. That's a friggin' disaster. Like, that's just a disaster. Like, now he's going to be hurt. You can't trade a hurt player. And now what? Now he signs with somebody else. Like, Jesus Christ Almighty. Like, the guy has not done a hell of a lot at all for you. There's other teams who, by God, are still interested in him for some reason. Someone today tweeted out how he's hard to play against or something else. Hard to play against? No. How? Tell me how Trent Frederic, other than every once in a while he wants to punch you in the face, but that doesn't mean hard to play against.
No.
You know, so tell me when other times he's hard to play against. It's not true.
No, it's not true. And I tell you what, we saw the whatever, the player card or whatever from some fucking guy about Trent Frederic, and his compete level was 90.
90?
See this? 90?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. 90.
When he's skating around with a fucking cock in his hand for a month doing
physicality was 92.
90?
Physicality was 92. Physicality was 92. Yeah, physicality too.
Yeah, I mean, look, he has
battle. He doesn't battle. He doesn't win battles.
No, he doesn't win battles, but because he uses one hand on the stick half the time. But
they measured it one-handed.
But he does hit people. He has like 150 hits or whatever. Great. You know, late to the party, hits somebody, and then they skate away and he skates away. Great. Doesn't score anymore. Doesn't fight. And skates around, not producing anything for a month. And his compete is 90. If his compete is 90, what's Brad Marchand's 215?
If you got a guy who doesn't win puck battles, he's not hard to play against. The guys who are hard to play against win all the battles. Win every single puck battle, every single one. That's a player that's hard to play against.
Yeah, Patrice Bergeron is hard to play against.
Yeah, hard to play against because he wins every face-off. He wins every puck battle. He wins all the 50-50 pucks. He wins them
and all that shit. Just
all of that. That's hard to play against.
Yeah.
Not Trent Frederic, one hand on the stick.
Trent Frederic gliding around with one hand on the stick, his other hand on his penis, just
picking fights with guys who can't fight.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, come on. I mean, send the guy. You should have sent him a month ago. And now you didn't. And you waited. For what? What are you waiting for? So this is going to be a colossal fuck up.
Yeah.
By Sweeney again. So now are they going to get back to the table like, you know what, Freddie, we can't lose you. So what do you want? I'll lose my fucking mind. I swear to God, I will lose my mind if they sign Frederic to this ridiculous extension. I will lose my mind.
You and me both. I don't want him back.
Oh, my God.
I don't want him back. I don't want him back.
You're just going to run it back with the same friggin' people? Like,
I don't want him back.
Geeky? Like,
tell you what. At this point, I would rather lose the guy for nothing.
Yes.
I would rather lose him for nothing. I don't want him back anymore.
Right. No, I don't want him. I don't want him back. I don't want him back. But I'll tell you, if you lose him for nothing, then you're an idiot.
Just about that. Oh, believe me. You'll hear me on that. You'll hear me on that.
I mean, that's just you have limited assets.
Either way, I don't want him anymore. I'm done.
Limited assets and you can't manage them.
Yeah. When has he ever managed an asset? Ever in his goddamn life has he managed an asset, Don Sweeney?
No, never.
His 401k is probably fucking bankrupt. He can't manage anything. Managing assets.
No, managing assets.
He's got a piggy bank in his room that he's got to smash open with a fucking hammer to pay his fucking players with.
Yeah. As the Cam show would say, Trent Frederic, elite at just grabbing guys. Just grabbing them. Pulling them back, pulling your shoulder back, saying, hey, you want to go? You know, every once in a great while.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? I'll tell you what, fire this team to the sun.
Oh,
to the moon and beyond. Fire it to the sun. So now Brazo gets scratched, and Joe Sacco basically says we wanted more speed. So basically says Brazo sucks. So
he
now,
says he can't skate.
how are you going to trade that guy?
Yeah.
How are you going to trade that guy?
Your coach just said he can't skate fast enough to play against good teams.
That's
That's
sweet.
what he said.
Sweet.
He said when the speed and physicality and intensity ramp up in the playoffs, Brazo can't play because he can't keep up.
Can't keep up. Yeah. So now all the people who supposedly are interested in Brazo aren't anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know where this shit comes from. I'll tell you what, if someone gives anything to the Boston Bruins for Justin Brazo, they should never be allowed in the league again.
You probably have to give T-Buzz a T-shirt for that.
I do. I'm going to give T-Buzz a T-shirt if they trade him. Like I'm adding to the pot. Like
Sweetener.
if they trade him,
T-Buzz is getting a sweetener.
Sweetener. Yeah.
A sweetener.
I'll send maybe a
15 goals.
mug if they don't sign him. How's that?
15 goals, or a trade is a T-shirt. And what is it? He gets a mug if they don't sign him.
I got a mug if they just don't sign him. Like if
you
he just
get a mug?
isn't. No, he gets a mug.
Oh, he gets a mug.
No, it's not Oprah. No, you get a mug. You get a mug. No, he gets a mug.
Everybody in the chat gets a mug. What?
Yeah, right. You get a mug. You get a mug. Oh God. Joe Sacco says I don't like it. I don't look at it as a devastating loss. Disappointing, but we have to continue to push and try to grab that extra point. Oh, you know what, Joe? You
are up 3-2-0. What do you mean it wasn't a devastating loss? You're on home ice. That's the only place you play well. What are you fucking talking about, Joseph?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Thank you, Connor. Go back to Medford. Have some pasta and sit this one out. For fuck's sake.
Oh, you're playing a team that you dominate at home and who doesn't think they can win in Boston, and you're up 3-0 and you lose. And you lose a very important point. First two games out of the break, Anaheim Ducks and Toronto Maple Leafs. We said they have to win both.
Yeah,
because they should win both. Because Anaheim sucks, and Toronto you always beat at home. Like you have their number, and in the first period it came true. So you have to have those 4 points. No, you have 2 points. Now you're still out of a playoff spot.
Yep.
Fire it all to the sun. I'm done. I'm done. That's it. I mean, you had a chance right here to win, to get 6 points out of the gate and make one last push. And now you're gonna play the Islanders Thursday and probably lose.
Oh,
and then sell every fucking buddy. I don't care if they're in the hospital. I don't care where they are. Just sell them all.
Open for business.
Pejman says, "What the actual fuck do Wallstrom and Beecher do?" I'll tell you what. Smitty says in our group chat tonight, "Remind me again what Beecher does," and I replied, "Sucks." That's what he does. He doesn't do anything.
And I said, "Thanks. Yeah, that's right. Thanks."
Yeah. He gives up a breakaway and then fucking penalizes a guy. That's all I saw him do tonight. That's great, Beach. That's awesome. And you know what? He's an RFA. They're gonna give him another year, guaranteed. I guarantee you, they're gonna give him another year. Give him one more try.
That will put me over the edge.
Yeah, they're going to. They're going to. I swear to God, they will, because he's a first-round pick, and they're gonna give him one more chance at it.
He's one of Sweeney's guys. I tell you what.
Why else would he be in the lineup every fucking night? He doesn't. He never gets scratched, and he does nothing. So they're gonna sign him again. I mean, if he was getting scratched every, 3 or 4 games here and there, then yeah, I'd say they're probably just about done. But they're not. They're scratching other guys. They're not scratching him.
This whole organization needs an enema. It really does.
They do. They need a splash of.
They need a cleansing. They need a douching.
Splish splash. Yeah. Right up the ass. That's what they need. They need it. They need to flush it out. You're telling me that Lysel, Merkulov, anyone in Providence is worse than these fuckers? I'll tell you this, Pejman. John Farinacci has 10 points in his last 10 games. Yeah. He has like 35 points this year. He's like 3rd or 4th on the team in scoring in Providence. Why not just give him just one look? Give him 1 game, 2 games.
I feel like
Mark McLaughlin a couple of games.
I feel like he'd be better than Wallstrom would.
Hard hitting analysis.
All Wallstrom does is take offensive zone penalties.
Yeah.
That's all he does.
That's it.
Oh, and he scored a spinorama goal lacrosse style when he was 8.
Yeah, when he was 8. Yeah, and he's from South Portland, Maine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
cool story.
What can you do? Dan Maiden, I'm not feeling confident about this third period. That's about to happen. That was foreshadowing, Dan. Nice job.
That was foreshadowing. Well
but
done.
He's in Australia. Did he see
That's
the
amazing.
game yesterday or something? I don't know. What's the time?
Maybe maybe Back to the Future.
Yeah, there you go. Matthew Curtis, remember all the back-breaking losses we've had this year? I feel another one coming. There you go.
Wow. Our chat group.
There you go.
Yes. Fucking unreal.
There you go. He said regulation loss, but almost. They almost copped it up in regulation.
Yeah, they tried like hell to lose.
They tried. God damn it, they tried. Let's see. Sweeney's sleeping on making trades too. Now Frederic doesn't have an ACL or an MCL anymore. There's one draft pick down the drain. Yeah. I don't know if it looked like the way he looked back at his foot and was like, why aren't you moving? Felt like Achilles to me. Felt like it was just like one of those things where you look back and you're like, why isn't my foot moving? Why can't I feel my foot? Like, it's just the way he looked back was weird. I hope he just kind of jammed it or something. But man, I'll tell you,
I didn't see a replay of it. Was it lower?
It was hard to tell. He kind of went into the boards and to the player. I don't know if it was McCabe or somebody.
Yeah, I think
or Ekman Lars. He came together, and he kind of his feet went to the boards, but standing up.
Yeah,
and then he kind of went down to the ice and then tried to immediately get up, and then couldn't, and then looked back at his foot.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that was about.
Originally, I thought it was just a reverse hit from McCabe that knocked the wind out of him or shook him up. But then he didn't come back.
No, he didn't come back, and he limped, and he sat on the bench for a bit, and then he was out.
I thought maybe he got concussed, got rattled around or something, but
I don't know.
Hopefully, it's something more minor and not anything.
Yeah. Sure.
I mean, we don't want to see the guy hurt. We don't want to see him hurt.
No, of course not. And you know what?
Especially because we want them to
it
trade
sucks that he's hurt.
Yeah.
Because now it sucks for him because now, if he's seriously injured, that could throw a wrench into getting signed.
Yeah.
And it sucks for the team that you had this asset that everybody was talking about. That was the one guy I said was going to be traded. That's the one guy I just know was going to be traded. He was going to be traded.
Yeah.
So now what? God almighty.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's Sweeney fucking tippy toes Sweeney. It's Sweeney friggin' can't pull a trigger on anything.
Sackless goes.
Sackless and then the press conference you just had with we're gonna be cautious, but we're gonna look to make some trades. What are you talking about? He was going back and forth. He rides the fence like nobody else can.
No.
Have a plan.
Yeah.
There's never a plan.
No plan ever.
And he even says there's no plan. What
it's
are you doing?
we're just gonna see how the team does from day to day and adjust accordingly.
Oh my God.
Come on, dude.
Oh my God.
Figure it out. Are you educated at Harvard or
oh my God.
Were you just standing in Harvard Square pantomiming or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Get a diploma?
Jim Just Rage says, at this point, I just want them to lose in regulation so we can make some changes sooner rather than later. Well, almost. They lost in overtime. So there you go. Zadorov playing OT is like putting perfume on a pig. And then Waterspoon showed up on OT, and that was scary. That was scary.
I mean, they got the guy playing on the power play, too, because...
what else is there? Going to put Michael Callahan in there? I don't know. I just don't have anybody.
Oh, my God.
I'd rather put Michael Scott there, I think.
He can Steve Carl can skate.
He can.
I give him a turn. I give him a go. Sure.
Yeah, sure. Give him a go. Lorai is a forward, by the way, says Steve Oz. He plays like a forward. I mean, he was a forward back when he was younger.
Yeah, he was a forward till he was 14.
Yeah. So he does have some of those instincts. I would continue to try to work with him because I still think he could be a decent player. So I'd still kind of work with him defensively, and I think he'll be okay. I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be fine.
The McAvoy Lindholm injuries might be a blessing in disguise.
Yes,
me, Mr. Positive here.
Yeah, yeah. He looked great on the power play, just like we've been saying for 3 fucking months
for him because he's just gonna have to play. And like he'll fuck up, I'm sure.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to play and he's gonna gain experience, and that can't be anything but good for him.
Yeah.
So hopefully it gets to a point where he can be an average NHL defenseman, and then he brings the offense, which you've seen flashes of where he's dynamic. And the Bruins certainly could use a guy back there that is dynamic offensively because they don't have one.
Sure.
So maybe this is a blessing. Maybe it's a good thing for the Bruins over the long haul that Lowry gets some time back there and can learn how it goes.
Sure. Rowan B, no balls in those last moments. And you could just see it.
Oh, yeah.
Like in the end of regulation, like just the tightness and the nut shrinkage. Like it was just, you could see it. Like they couldn't move the puck ahead. They had time and space, and then they'd still throw it at her Maple Leaf. It was unbelievable. Like, and then when they actually cleared it, they cleared it to like center ice, and then it was quick transition. And they tried to friggin' race off the ice for a line change, and it was right back in the zone again. Like there was no like just go ahead, get it deep, go forecheck, get ahead of it. No, that was just survival mode, and they didn't survive. They died.
No, they don't have any kind of touch with like clearing the puck, getting it to the other zone but not icing it. It's like, can you, nobody there golfs. Like, we can't do like closest to the pin. Like, can you get it close and not throw it over the red line?
Yeah.
It's the end of the game, little touch. Little touch.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Just a little touch. Adrian's sip tonight is Buffalo Trace, that hubby infused with apples, cinnamon, and cloves. My drink and the Benders are the best parts of tonight. Thank you, Adrian. That sounds fucking delicious.
Yeah, it really does sound
Doesn't
delightful. It really does.
I would pound that right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'd have to get through this night.
It's better than my cocktail of bleach and bleach. So.
Rat poison and Geek Squad. Without pasta, this team is bottom 5 of the league. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Beth,
they still are. Actually,
they still are. Actually,
yeah.
Beth Potemba. This team can't clear the puck if their life depended on it. That's true. And I look, McAvoy and Lindholm are out. It was really interesting that the winning percentage with Hampus.
Oh yeah.
680 or something.
Yeah, 670
without. Yeah, and without 540.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know that's not all him, but that has to be telling, in some way.
Oh,
I mean, he's a good player who plays 21, 22 minutes a game. Like he plays a lot.
Yeah.
So now all these other guys have to play, and I don't want them to play anymore. Like,
no.
Wotherspoon, if they want to bring him back as like an 8th defenseman, fine. But I don't want him there. I don't want Michael Callahan anywhere near my team. I don't want
Callahan's been fine. I feel like.
Yeah, I mean
I'll keep Callahan as the 8th guy, and Wotherspoon can.
Yeah, pound sand.
Yeah, I mean they need a right defenseman as a depth guy, which they don't have.
Yeah. Odyssey says Poitras didn't look too good. Too much of a top 6C either. That will be a Hail Mary if he ever gets there. What did you think of Poitras tonight?
I thought Poitras was decent tonight. I thought he was feisty. I thought he was involved. He got involved with some.
Who's he playing with?
Well, there's that. He was playing with Frederic, then he wasn't.
And Wallstrom.
Yeah. So he's playing with a guy who hasn't scored since he was 8 years old.
Yeah.
And another guy who got hurt who hasn't scored in like 2 months.
Yeah.
So not exactly putting Poitras in a position to succeed there.
No, it's like
when he was on the power play, he looked fine. He looked dangerous. Had a couple of shots on the power play. Not afraid to shoot there, which I liked. And he was feisty. He had one really good back check, I noticed. So I thought he was fine tonight. I just can you put him with Geeky in fucking Pastrnak? I mean, I'd like to see that.
I mean, there's the only 2 guys who are scoring. Can you put him with those 2 guys? Just do it, just to appease me for like 5 games. Just see what it looks like. I mean, don't you have to know for next year, like a little bit of what's going on? Isn't this the time to kind of know for next year? Because I'll tell you what, you need Poitras to be pretty good, or you're even more fucked. Like, you need Poitras and Lowry to be pretty good.
You do. Connor
really do.
Connor wanted to say something like 2 minutes ago. I don't know.
Did he? Okay, go ahead.
Matty, do you remember the Lindholm stat you just racked off? What the
Yeah.
record is without Lindholm? What is that?
It was like 680 win percentage to 540 or something like that.
I quickly had to look because
Mhm.
he's only been here for 3 years. And 2
Right.
of those years, they were fucking phenomenal as a team.
Uh-huh.
And before this year, in 2 seasons, he only missed 11 games.
Okay.
So that stat is severely
that's a little
skewed by
skewed.
this season.
So that's a
I
little
would
skewed.
imagine.
Yeah. So that's a little skewed. All right. That's fair. But, I mean, he's still a pretty good player that they're missing. And I'll tell you what, he's got a fractured patella that Kevin Miller had. And if he can't, there's no guarantee he gets back to fully healthy. There's no guarantee. So now what happens there? That's something to keep an eye on.
It is, because they might
That's not okay.
No, they might need to fill that spot too.
They might. There might be something going on there. So it's going to be really interesting to see, because you're not going to play again. So you're not going to play till September, October. So it's going to be really interesting. Keep an eye on him in training camp.
Yeah. Well, the other
And
thing
how
that
he
might
develops.
allow the Bruins to do is do some of these skirting of the salary
Yeah,
cap.
of the salary cap, a little LTIR for
The Las Vegas long-term IR deal.
yeah. Little
So-
Tampa Bay.
The Bruins a little more money to spend in
Sure.
in free agency.
Crystal Valley says Frederic may still get dealt, but the asking price is lower now. Yeah, great. Sweet.
That's true.
That's
Yeah.
what you want. Yeah. I mean, look,
Because they do such a good job hitting on draft picks.
somebody explain to me.
The lower down we go, the better off we are, certainly.
Explain to me how that deal wasn't done already.
I
Like how?
I don't know. If
What
you
are,
have,
what are they waiting for?
if you have team, they're waiting to see if they make the playoffs, Matt. Of course, because they can go on a run. Everybody knows this. I don't know why. I don't know why you can't see it.
I don't know if everybody does.
I don't know why you can't see it.
He fucking had to address you by name, like
Well-
he was about to scold his child. That was serious.
He almost gave me the government name. Listen, Matthew.
Well, there's two guys on the 9th floor that really feel like this team is right on the cusp of making
Holy
the playoffs.
shit.
They're right there.
Oh God.
Everybody else in the entire New England region and across Canada and Australia can see that the fucking team sucks. But there's two guys sitting on the 9th floor are like, oh no, we're one guy away from making a run. Look out for the Boston Bruins, potential Stanley Cup champions.
Before the game on the bench, Razor says to Marchand, here's how he starts the question. You can't go 24-0. You can't go 24-0. So how do you manage that? Delicately.
They're gonna go, but they could go 0-0-24.
And still have all their guys.
Oh my God, this
all their
just
guys with all their nicknames.
they are killing me every minute. They're killing me by the day. I'm dying a slow
death. Demon 21 YouTube had to tune into this one. Thank you, my friend.
We appreciate it.
We do. Odysseys. Here's an interesting thing I wanted to bring up. Big rumble in Vancouver about major underperformer Elias Pettersson. A lot of talk about him and his whole makeup. Would you do it? Carlo, Coyle, Merkulov, high round pick. Vancouver probably desperate to sell. Big risk. I would not. I would see. Here's the thing. I would stay clear away from anyone with any inkling of being a soft, lethargic, low work ethic guy. I think they got too many of those guys. I got too many passengers.
Yes.
If I have to coax that guy into playing every night and pay him $11 million a year,
Agreed.
no thanks.
Yeah, I'll take the 11 million and I'll tack on a couple more and I'll give it to Mitch Marner.
Yeah,
Or I'll give it to Mikko Rantanen.
I'll give it to Mikko Rantanen.
I'll give it to one of those guys.
Yeah, I'll give it to somebody else.
I'll do that thing. That's what I'll do. I'm not taking my chances on a guy who, got his feelings hurt by somebody telling him that he needed to play harder or something, or whatever the case was with JT Miller.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
that's essentially what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
Miller. Now look at Miller's a psycho. We get it.
yeah,
But he's competitive.
Yeah.
And he was up his ass, and he didn't like it.
Yeah, I'll take the competitive guy who's a psychopath instead of the guy who's.
Give me that guy. Give me that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, Marchand was that guy for 7 years.
Sure.
So
Never knew what
give
he
me
was
that
going to do,
guy.
but he was competitive as fuck. Like, give me that guy. Give me
that guy.
You tell you what, you give me 21 Brad Marchands, and we're going to win fucking 75% of the time.
Yeah. I don't know. I would stay clear away. I mean, and is our Lindholm and Pedersen friends? Because that's another thing. Lindholm just played with him. Probably hates his guts. I don't know.
I mean,
who knows?
Oh fuck!
Probably read the room a little. I don't know.
Yeah.
Rob Spector, the Frederic deal was not waiting on us. No one is going to buy that busted ass dickhead until the deadline because he will be 5 times cheaper. I mean, that might be a good point, but all I hear about is how there's several teams interested. Then you heard about the Ottman and Kreider thing.
Yeah.
And then they brought him up, Ottman, tonight. So you thought maybe you wanted to take a look at him or something's going on there. And now Frederic's hurt. So I don't know what happens there. Low Ryan overtime looked more lost than a Boy Scout at Newbury Comics, says Rob Spector. Defensively, it's a challenge. And really what the challenge is, and Brick said it, and it happened at the end of the game, is when to pinch and when to continue to be offensive and when to just take a step back and give up and just say, we got to live to play another day,
Yeah,
he's probably so offensively, gifted and aware.
Yeah, he probably should have just went back at that point.
Yeah.
Like, knew he wasn't going to win and get to the puck and try to play defense. But
yeah,
I mean, that's the learning curve, and hopefully he learns his lessons on some of those things and he's better for it in the long run, and you get a better player in the long run for it, because that's they're certainly going to need somebody on the back end that's talented and a threat back there to make things happen.
Ian and Kelly Anderson. The third period was nauseating. Didn't hear Coyle or Zacha's name once. Some leaders. Charlie Coyle, I'm telling you, he forgot how to pass. I mean, how many times? I mean, he has just hit the wall. And I don't know if a trade, like if a trade might, he might get a little bit of gas out of it for a playoff run. Could be. But long term, like going forward, the party's over.
Well, there was a play. I'm not sure if it was third period or overtime, but puck was like low in the right-hand circle. I think it was Zacha. Might have been somebody else. I don't know. Maybe it was Elias Lindholm, because I think he was on the line with him. Passes to him in the bottom of the right wing circle, catches it, and doesn't shoot. Not ready to shoot. Doesn't shoot. 3 or 4 stick handles and then a backhand pass to the point. Why are we not ready to let it go there?
I don't know. Team has trouble scoring. I don't know. Was that wasn't the one when it went back to Carlo and it exploded off his stick. He lost it, and then he gets it again just outside the blue line, tries to re-enter to Pastrnak and misses him by 10 feet. Was it that one?
I think it was.
Yeah, because that was fucking atrocious. That was awful hockey in a small 20-second segment. That was just Brandon Carlo's season in a nutshell, where he stumbled a little, puck explodes off his stick forward, he loses it, gains it back, tries to hit Pastrnak, who's like along the blue line, give it to me, and he fucking misses him by 10 feet. And then Pastrnak just kind of goes to the bench for a change. He's like, fuck it. I can't do it. That's just Carlo in a nutshell. Carlo is just lost. Carlo is lost beyond repair, I think. Carlo, I've seen him lost before, but he usually rights the ship. Yeah. He hasn't righted it for about 2 months. I don't know what the problem is.
When he was lost before, I think he was concussed.
Well, that could be. Maybe he's concussed.
No, I'm saying this time I don't think he has that.
No, which is concerning. Yeah.
Yeah, it is
concerning.
It is.
Yeah. Connor says Coyle has been pictured at every Bruins outing after hours for the last 3 months. He was spearheading all the weddings and Like he was the DJ and the
Coyle's the event planner.
Oh, he is.
Great.
He is event planner. We're gonna call Coyle event planner.
We're gonna call him
this season.
What was that movie? That rom com? He's fucking Jennifer Lopez. He's J-Lo.
Planner. He's J-Lo.
Charlie Coyle.
The wedding planner.
Officially J-Lo from now on. He's got a
is.
big fat ass, just like J-Lo too.
Yeah.
Love
They
it.
did a lot of that shit during the off season, and then no one could ready to play in the preseason. I mean, it started back then.
Yeah,
like this shit show started back then.
Oh, sure it did.
Asmick says he doesn't think Freddie wants to be in Boston anymore either, which could be true. Just by kind of the way his season has gone, could be true.
I think he was looking at Jim Montgomery like with longing eyes when he got out of town.
Yeah. I think you are correct. I think going to St. Louis, and of course, St. Louis is like 500 or under 500. They're not very good.
No.
So go ahead, go there. I'm not sure why Merkulov is not playing. And at this point now, I'm just not sure why. Like Sweeney, was it Sweeney who said something about, yeah, guys will get a chance if they're playing well enough. But what does that mean? He got 46 points. Like, what does that mean? Like,
he doesn't know what he means.
What do you mean? But Wallstrom's playing well enough? Like, but Brazo's playing well enough? Like, Beecher's playing well enough? I don't get it. Like, what do you mean? Is it that they don't want to put him on bottom six lines? Is that they're saying, you know what, you're top six, and if you can't do it, you can't do it. Like Studnicka, like you can't do it, you're done.
I mean, that doesn't make sense, but that's probably what they're doing.
I mean, because he's not a fourth line type of guy. Like he's not what they want in a fourth line, which I'm not sure what it is because their fourth line hasn't done much of anything since the first month of the year. But whatever.
No. I mean, Lewis, by the way, is 6 points out of a playoff spot in the West.
6 points out, so they're worse off than you are. Yeah.
3-5-2 in their last 10.
3-5. Okay, that's not great.
No.
Why is Riley Tufte around? That's a good point from T-Boss.
Because Sweens signed him. Our good friend Sweens.
You can't admit your mistakes right away. You gotta squeeze the life out of it.
Tufte has been around for committing offensive zone penalties as well. That was his forte. Him and Wallstrom. They should put those guys on a line together so every team that we play can get a 5-on-3 advantage when those.
That'd be great. How about Wallstrom taking an offensive zone penalty?
Yeah,
and then they score.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what you contribute. That's not the first time that's happened with him.
No,
like that's what you contribute. You do nothing else.
Every single one of his penalties has been an offensive zone penalty.
Yeah, every
single one.
Yeah, sweet. But you're gonna throw him out there, and that's a guy you just picked off the scrap heap. You have no loyalties to him. You know, you let Tyler Johnson go in 3.2 seconds.
Yeah,
this guy you're gonna drag the fuck out of? Why? Why can't another guy play there?
Because he's from Portland, Maine, and he scored a goal. Panorama goal.
There's a glimmer of hope.
On mini 1-on-1 when he was 8.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, good. Maine is not a hockey hotbed here, just to let everybody know. So, yeah, I mean, how about Tyler? Tyler Ralston says, I don't care if Marchand scored a goal. Sell him, period. And I'm still on Tyler. I'm on the boat, the good ship Marchand trade. I think he's getting traded. I really do. And everything that's been said, no one's come out and said, yeah, we're going to get this deal done. Like no one's ever said that. And if it was going to get done, it would have been done earlier. And if it was going to get done forward, Sweeney even said Swayman was going to get done when that was about to get hot and heavy. Mm-hmm. He even said that was going to we're going to find a common ground or whatever the fuck he says.
Yeah.
We're going to find a landing spot. Okay. Well, that's never been said by Marchand or Sweeney.
No.
So I think I really believe Marchand wants, pretty much market value.
I think he does want market value.
And they don't want to give it to him.
And if I'm him, I am holding out for market value.
Yes.
Because there's no way at all, if I'm him, I'm taking a penny less than they're giving Elias Lindholm. Not one way. Red cent.
That's what screws you.
Yeah. Sweeney's own fault for giving Elias Lindholm a horrible contract.
Yeah.
And now he has Brad Marchand looking at that deal and saying that guy's worth 7.75, and you're offering me 4.5 or whatever it is. If I'm Marchand, I tell Sweens to go fuck himself.
Well, Pastrnak, his second deal, he got market value. McAvoy got market value. Swayman got market value. And then so the market, the people taking discounts has gone by the wayside. Marchand took a discount the first time. He's not doing it now.
No,
he's not. So all these people saying, well, give him 1 year, $3 million with a bonus here. And he's not going to take that, dude. He's not taking it. He wants at least $7 million a year, I bet. And he wants it for 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, look, I think he wants to stay. I do think he wants to stay. I think he wants to stay.
I think he wants to stay. I think his choice would be to stay if they gave him the money.
Yes, but he wants what he should rightfully get. Not as some bullshit fucking, take a little to help the team kind of a deal. No, that's over with.
Well, what are you helping? So because your team stinks now.
Yeah, if he leaves, it's not on him. That's on Sweeney. That's on Sweeney.
It is.
But given the other shitty contract and for letting it come to this, it's not on Marchand.
Well, what about this? Like the Bruins right now are going to miss the playoffs for the first time in whatever.
Yeah.
And then they're going to have to trade one of their iconic players because it's completely been mismanaged by the general manager. So how do you spin that? Like, in a perfect world, this team is better and Marchand easily signs an extension.
I know how to spin it. You fire the fucking general manager.
Yeah, you do.
Goddamn sun. You do. Send him into the sun.
You do.
You say we missed the playoffs and he mismanaged the cap enough that we couldn't keep one of our iconic stars who's probably going to be a Bruins Hall of Famer and probably a National Hockey League Hall of Famer. You send that guy into the sun. See you, Sweens. Bye-bye. Go back to fucking Canada. You can be GM of Team Canada. Don't let the door hit you on the way, ass on the way out, eh?
Yeah. I think, and Hasmick says it, I wonder if Marchand isn't being honest when he's been telling the media he intends to stay. I think his intention is to stay. I just think that the team is not going to give him the money. Now you can debate whether or not you want to or not. Me, I don't. I don't want to give him 3 years, $22 million or whatever. I don't want to do that. I don't. So because he's not going to get better, he's going to slightly go downhill from here.
Right.
So I don't want that. So I want to trade him. But the problem is that you mismanage your team so much that maybe he would have taken a little bit more of a discount if you were really close.
Yep.
But you're not really close. So now he's like, no, I'm getting market value. He'll take less at a contender. You watch. He'll take less at a contender. And then I'll tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah, because it's not Boston. It's not Boston's salary structure. It's not Hampus Elias Lindholm getting 7.75, on some other team where you have to come in and take less than that. Like I would be like, I'm the captain of the team. You pay me less than Elias Lindholm.
Right.
The fuck out of here.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, Kyle Benson says
negotiation hasn't gone anywhere because if I was Marchand and they offered me a contract that was less than him, I would have walked into the office, told him to fuck himself, and walked out.
Yes.
So that's probably the extent of the negotiation. They'll say, "Whoa, Marshy, we'll give you
Marshy." I know, Mr. Nicknames.
And they'll say, "Fuck yourself," and walk out again.
Yeah. Kyle Benson says that friend of the show, Sweens.
Look, sure Sweens is welcome on this podcast at any time. We would be happy to have him on. Yeah. He can yell at us. He can scream at us. We are men enough to take it. And we would be over the moon excited to have Don Sweeney on the program.
I think
Connor would like to chime in quickly.
Just a couple things, but first I will say you can't just say Sweens would say Marshy because Katrina would have to get the mention as well. But the New York Rangers beat up 5-1 on the New York Islanders today, so the Bruins get lapped by the New York Rangers and plunge one spot further in the standings. And then, of course, the Bruins just sent out an email a little bit ago. No practice, no media tomorrow. CBA mandated day off.
CBA mandated.
So they didn't quite get there. They made today optional, but then they didn't quite get there.
What are his kids' names? Because they would be mentioned as well.
Yeah, they'll mention the
Not
kids
just-
and the
not
fam
just-
and the wife
not
and everything.
Not just Katrina.
Yeah, just
Yeah, all the kids. He's
that would be Sawyer and Sloan if you're counting.
Okay, he's a big family guy, Sweens. All the families always get the mention.
It's all about the fam. We're gonna miss the fam as much as the players.
It's a family. Yeah, it's a family. He considers the Bruins a family. That's why he has such a tough time trading guys off the roster. Because
that's why everybody's got a nickname.
It's not a business. It's a family.
You have what other team in the league do you think the players call the general manager by his nickname? How many other teams do you think? Sweens. Do you think like the Red Wings say Stevie Y?
Maybe. Hockey's weird that way.
Billy Guerin, what was his nickname? Fucking
Hockey's weird that way, but some guys don't. I think.
Yeah,
there's certain guys that
Sweens.
Do you think the Islanders are calling Lou Lamoriello by his nickname?
No.
No. But that's a bad example.
I went for the extremes.
He would also sell every one of those motherfuckers.
He would.
They crossed him. Yeah, he would.
Tell you what,
trade them all.
He would probably sell them if they called him his nickname.
Right, they would.
Instead of calling him Mr. Lamoriello, if they called him like Sweet Lou or something, they'd be like, "Your ass is out of here."
Andrews Lee, you're out of here.
Yeah.
Zach Case says Merkulov going to the KHL next year. Not out of the question. Not out of the question.
No, I thought it would happen if he didn't make the team out of camp. So I certainly could see that happening 100%.
Yeah, I could see it too. Odyssey says we are only left with Carlo, Geeky, and Coyle for retooling. Every other UFA is hitting all-time low in value. We are fucked in any possible scenario. Yeah, basically your only asset you have right now is Marchand. Like that's the other thing. It's like the only asset you really have that of any value is him. Like I think now that Frederic gets hurt,
I think Geeky is.
Well, but how much of an asset do you think Geeky is?
I think he's an asset.
Well, he's an RFA, so you can still control that sum, right? Or does that change?
No, yeah, you can control him.
Okay. So yeah,
I mean, the other team would have to pay whatever it is, either take him to arbitration or sign him to a deal.
Yeah, but they can. It wouldn't be this astronomical thing, though. It wouldn't be this huge. You probably make 3.5 or something, right?
Yeah, and he's scoring goals. He's got 19 now.
19. He could have 25 goals at the end of the year.
Yeah, so I mean, the Bruins will probably sign him, is what will happen.
Yeah,
after they take care of the fourth line guys first, of course. But
of course.
Did I say first or fourth? I said fourth.
You said fourth. Yeah, fourth.
Yeah,
fourth. Whatever.
I meant
it's all the same, so it's all a mumbled mess.
Yeah, he is a fourth first line player.
Yeah, he's still I still want him on my third line. You might convince me on my second line if he continues to score 25 goals. That's fine, but he's not a first line player still. And I'm not going to pay him as one.
No,
I'd rather have Mitch Marner there than him.
Yes.
Okay. Jonesy, tonight's sip is my salty tears, dabbed away with my pit-stained 2011 Stanley Cup Champions t-shirt. Oh, God.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's and as Rob Spector would say, we need speed, youth, and tiny term. We do. We have to steer clear of anyone named Elias, says Jeffrey Tashin. That's probably a good point. That's probably a good point. Here's the issue now. I mean, do you think a move gets done before the deadline, or are they waiting right to deadline day? I just have this fear that nothing's going to get done. They can't let Marchand walk, right?
I mean, look,
if they let Marchand walk,
the last core player that they kept. I'll wait.
I mean, look, I've said it all along. Until they actually trade someone, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think they're going to trade Frederic. I don't think they're going to trade Marchand. I don't think they're going to trade anybody because they don't.
And then what are they going to do? Let all those guys go?
They're going to wait until the last possible minute. They're going to miss the playoffs, and he's going to be left there with his cock in his hand. That's what's going to happen.
That's going to be so bad.
It is bad. He should have been fired already.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be really bad. I mean, you have a chance at least to get some assets to try to retool a little bit.
Yes, you should.
You should. You should. I mean, it would certainly kickstart a little bit for you.
Look, I'm on team trade everyone.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. I think they should be getting rid of all the guys that they don't think are a part of the future. Mm-hmm. I just don't think they will, because I don't think Sweeney has the guts to actually make a hockey trade. I don't think he does. I think he waits and waits and waits and waits and waits and waits and waits. And then all the other teams that need stuff go out and get who they need. And the Bruins are left there calling people at the last minute. And they say, oh, no, sorry, Donnie. Sorry, Sweens. We already got our guy. Thanks anyway.
Yeah. I'm with you. Beth Patember says, can we give the entire team a high power colonic to try to get the shit out? Sure.
Yeah.
We're just gonna blast it. Blast it.
Can we get them like a group discount at like
drain it at the colonoscopy.
Yeah.
Drain it. Just enema across the board. That is so Sween, says Odysseys. At the presser post deadline, we didn't get the right offers. There it is. That's it is. Put that down as a Sweeney line. Yeah, Sween's line. We didn't get the right offers.
We're gonna we should clip that right there, because we're gonna name the post deadline next episode. That is going to be the title of the episode.
Yeah, we didn't get the right offers.
We didn't get the right offers.
Yeah. Or we'll call it Shmenja in my hand.
We're going to play a fun little game on the episode this week. Mm-hmm. Is it Sweens?
Is it Sweens? We're going to play tomorrow's episode. We're going to play Is it Sweens? We're going to say, we're going to give you a quote. Is it Sweens or is it somebody else?
Producer Connor's going to make it up. Is it actually Sweens or is it made up Producer Connor?
I'll tell you what, I'm with Joe Bandera. Smitty for GM. You know what? Throw him in there. What the hell? Like, guys would at least be held accountable. Ship his ass out.
Oh yeah, they would.
Ship his ass out. Matty for president.
Oh yeah, they would.
If I was president. If I was Neely and you were Sweeney right now. Oh my God, there'd be the Providence Bruins would be playing Thursday night. There'd be nobody there. There'd be some new young up and coming players would be in there. Whatever we could get in trade. We'd have all sorts of draft picks.
I'd make Chris Drury look like a guy who was like nice to the team and nice to the I'd make him look like a friendly guy, Chris Drury.
Oh yeah. You'd be at practice. Really you can't skate. You'd be in your regular shoes, like falling down the ice. You stupid mother. Yeah. You get in my office.
Oh my God.
He'd be the John Tortorella of general managers.
I would
be.
You would probably tamper with John Tortorella and bring him over.
I probably would tamper with John Tortorella. I tell you what, every time I step to the podium, I'd be fined, I think.
Yeah, you would be. Yeah. Because you'd be either bitching about the officiating or your own players.
Yeah. Probably not great.
Do we even have the money to resign Marshy, says Hasmick?
Yes.
At or above Lindy? Yes, we do. There's like $24 million in cap space for next year.
Mm-hmm.
So you can give Marshy $7 million a year. I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't. I just wouldn't. If you want to do 1 year at $7 million, I might consider it and see how it goes. But I'm not giving him like 3 years at $7 million a year. I'm not.
No, I would. I'm with you. I think you go year to year if it's a higher term deal, or if he wants a longer term deal, then then the AAV's got to come down.
Yeah, it's a Red Sox type deal. You got to give him, high 1 year, and then it goes down. I don't know. If I'm giving him 3 years, I'm giving him like 15. I'm not giving him.
That's what I'm saying. And I mean, he doesn't want to.
He doesn't want to do that.
He doesn't want to take that. And I don't blame him for not taking that.
No, and that would be the thing. Like, this is what I want, and this is what he wants, and I get it. We'll part ways. But we'll part ways with me shipping you out before March 7th.
Yeah, I mean, the parting of the ways should be the Bruins trading him and getting as much in return as they possibly can. That should be, they should be, in the next whatever here, 5 days or whatever it is, they should really try to work out whatever extension, is or isn't going to happen. And when they figure out that it's not, he's got to be on the phone to all the other teams. Marchand available. What are you willing to give me?
I don't know why you're not on the phone for Coyle, who's got, there's 23 teams you could ship him to. I don't know why you want on the phone about Coyle or Frederic or Geeky if you don't want to sign him back, or all these guys, and you're not just one by one shipping these guys for something. Bruins 1997. What would be your first move as GM, Smitty?
Trading everybody off the roster.
Well, here's what I would do. I'd be okay with trading if you could get something for Brazo. I don't think you can, but if you can get anything for Brazo, he'd be there. Brazo, Geeky, Frederic, Marchand would be at least those 4 guys. Shipping those 4 guys.
Yeah.
I would also dip my toe in Coyle too. And I would see if anybody would want Coyle for a stretch run, playoff run, which they might, and see what you get for him. So those would be the 5, I think.
I would be open to trading all those guys. I'd be open to trading Brandon Carlo too.
Yeah, I would be too for the right deal. Yeah.
But I would be open to trade anyone for the right deal. Anyone. Yeah. Anyone. Even Pasta, as great as he is. If someone offered me Connor McDavid, I would say yes. So I would be willing to trade anybody on the roster. Anyone. Swayman, McAvoy, Pastrnak, anybody. So in the right deal. I'm not just giving David Pastrnak away. Don't get me wrong there.
So I'm saying like Lysell, Merkulov, maybe Farinacci and somebody fill those 4 spots. Yeah. And then Carlo going, maybe you get someone you got in return who is a younger piece or whatever. You plug him in there. You try to get a right shot D in one of those deals that you can plug in there. And then you go into the offseason with, not a lot. It's still the same type of cap space, maybe even more now, because you got rid of Coyle and Carlo.
Yeah.
Now you've got all sorts of cap space. And you try to convince people to come. And Odysseys makes a great point. Why would Marner want to come to Boston?
You would have to sell him on the fact that you're bringing him in and maybe another guy in.
Yeah, like Chara and Savard type thing.
Yeah, Chara and Savard type of thing. Yeah. We're not that far away. We still have Pastrnak. We still have McAvoy. We still have Swayman. Hampus Lindholm's coming back. We were 2 years away from, or 2 years past from, having the best record in the league. So, you try to sell him on something like that. And, maybe he wants to play with Pastrnak. Maybe he wants to stick it to the Leafs. Any of those things could be an option to try to convince him to come. But it wouldn't be easy. You'd probably have to overpay the guy. And that's the other thing. Like, none of this, like, we crawl up to the edge with offering guys contracts. It's like, oh, yeah, but his market value was, probably a little too high for us. Look, as a shitty team, trying to bring in a big name free agent, you're probably going to have to overpay.
You are.
The cap's going to go up. So if you have to give them an extra $1 or $2 million per year,
you got to do it.
Fucking suck it up and do it to bring the fucking talent in. You need an influx of talent. And if you don't have talent, you're not going to win anyways. So do what you can to bring the talent in. If you have to give them a little bit more money, you have to give them a little bit more money.
Well, that brings up the question about the Jacobs and whether they will continue to spend to the cap, which
True
is
enough.
not guaranteed.
Correct.
As it goes up, it's not guaranteed. It's been at a right spot for them lately, but now that it's going up, kind of, going up more and going up quicker, I'm not guaranteeing you that they're going to spend to the cap still. So that throws a whole nother wrench into it. I don't know. Maybe they will, but maybe they won't. So, the one thing too about Pastrnak, thank God you have him for on ice, but thank God also you have him as a piece that you can say, Marner, you can play with Pastrnak. And get 100 points easily every year.
Sure.
Like, you can sell it to Rantanen. You can play with Pastrnak. Yeah. Like, all the time. Like, so he's a piece also that you can negotiate with, and he will go out and try to get guys too. He's done it in the past. He's lobbied for people in the past. These guys talk.
Sure.
These guys are at events, and agents are the same, and they're at also they all talk at they all talk at all these things. Like, and they all know each other. They played in juniors together and against each other, and they have their numbers and everything. They go lobby to have guys play and come. So Pastrnak will help you get a guy.
Sure.
If you didn't have him, Jesus, you'd be screwed in every single way.
Yeah.
Bruins 1970 is picturing GM Smitty sitting at the big table with Jacobs. Robert Giuliano says Coyle for a 3rd round pick. Sign me up.
Yep.
If they take the whole contract, sign me up. Sign me up.
I
take the whole contract. Yep. Just dump it. Nemec, Jersey Devils, isn't fond of his playing time. Carlo and Freddie, if it's only an itch plus.
I want the shakeup, but Nemec is like a poor man's low rye right now.
Yeah. I think you need your defensive core. If you need anything, you need a little bit of more toughness on there. Like, you need like a steady Eddie, especially if Carlo is not in the plans. You need a steady Eddie kind of guy. You've got Lindholm and Lowry, like the same kind of guy. Lindholm's a little more well-rounded, obviously, and better defensively than Lowry, but it's still the same type of player. Not a lot of physicality, not a lot of grit, that type of thing. You need a little bit tougher in that. I think the next guy you get defensively that you give term to has to add a little bit of edge to you.
Well, they did that with Zadorov.
Yeah, how much edge does that guy give you?
Gives you the edge. He doesn't necessarily give you good hockey play, but
the edge of my
gives you edge. You know who they could use? They could use a guy like Jacob Slavin is who they could use.
Yeah, he looked fucking dynamite.
He's a shutdown guy who does not take any penalties at all.
You need that guy.
They could use Brock Faber too. He'd be
what Ryan Lindgren used to be for the Rangers.
I was actually going to mention Ryan Lindgren. He might not be if he was available, that might not be a bad guy.
It might not be a bad guy. Yeah,
he is available.
Yeah,
he is available.
Yeah.
Yes, he's pending UFA, and things aren't going so hot for him in New York. And he's one of the contracts they're looking to move on from right now, potentially not to re-sign. Period.
I wouldn't mind Lindgren at all because he adds a hint of offense. And he's pretty good defensively.
And he is. Yes. If Frederic only has one leg after tonight, then trade him to the Wild because their medical staff is ass. Yeah, they'll fuck that up completely. He'll have no legs by the time he's done with them.
That's the comment that wins the internet tonight.
That's a beaut. Yeah. We should do a comment of the night. I don't know what we're gonna send to you, but
yeah.
Odysseys. Yeah, Wild.
We're not big enough to send you anything.
Yeah.
Matt's paying T-Buzz out of his own pocket.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. I gotta pay double for a t-shirt for this fucking thing. Wild should take him at market value to settle things between Sweens and Billy.
Sounds good to me.
Good. Build around Pasta Geeky Lowry, says Tyler Ralston, McAvoy too. Here's the thing I've been saying. You have the defenseman, you have the goalie, and you have the goal scorer. So it's not the end of the world. You have a foundation there. It's not like you have nothing like in 06. Right. Or even in 15, you were kind of struggling. But this time you have 3 top level guys at each position. So it's a good start. It is a good start. And it's going to take a couple years, but you can retool rather quickly. I don't think you can do a Capitals thing, but I think you can do it rather quickly.
I was actually going to say that I think the Capitals, maybe you can't do it as quickly as them, but that's the model. That's where you want to. You don't want to be the Red Wings or some other team that goes 10 years without a playoff appearance. You want to be the Capitals who turned it around fairly quickly.
Odyssey says the concrete though, unfortunately, is Zadorov and Lindholm.
Yeah.
I mean, you fucked that up. You did. I mean, Zadorov is going to be less and less of an eyesore as the cap goes up, and I think he'll be okay. But Elias Lindholm is just bad. That's just a bad contract, and that's a contract you're going to just suffer through.
Yeah,
I don't know how you get rid of that.
There's no two ways around that. They're probably buying him out with like a couple of years left. I bet.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, and I think
Or trying to move on from him at some point.
Yeah,
like he is what he is, and it's not his fault that they gave him a huge contract. That is the general manager of the Boston Bruins' fault.
Yes. Yeah, Jesus, take the money, Elias.
Yeah.
Sure.
So you can't begrudge the guy. And look, I like the player. I just hate the contract. Like he would be a very good third line center for this team. He wins faceoffs. He penalty kills. He chips in offensively. He's been a little bit better offensively in the last few weeks. You noticed him more tonight offensively than you have essentially all year long. So maybe the offense is coming a little bit, but he is what he is. He's a 45, 50 point guy tops. That's what you're getting out of him. That's it. You're not going to get the 80 point, 85 point. Like that's a pipe dream. That's not.
And you know who might have 40 points at the end of the year is Mason Lohrei. Mason Lohrei. He's got 26 points.
Yeah.
Like he goes on a little bit of a tear with more assists. He could get to 40 or 35. Jesus.
So with Charlie Coyle, maybe if he's lucky.
If he's lucky. I mean, Coyle has been absent.
Mason Lohrei, I believe, has the third most assists on the team right now.
He does. He has the most assists and points for a defenseman. I think I saw. Yeah. Tyler also says, I'm being a dick to Swayman. I loved him all game. Just that last goal tonight, he was so far of the net and jumped at the first twitch for the open net. Well, I mean, again, when the team in front of you looks like a herd of ants scattering when you're trying to hold a lead and then into overtime, like the defense goes off the rails. The goaltender really must have a hard time trusting what's going on in front of him. He must.
Of course.
He must.
Of course.
I think it goes all the way through to the goaltender, and it's just, that's a rough one. I mean, and Marner is a world-class player. I mean, that's just Christ.
Yeah. I mean,
that's a great move and Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Life comes at you quick.
The other thing about that, the tying goal, there was like 4 or 5 Bruins all within 3 feet of the net. And Holmberg just right in between all of them. Nobody picked the guy up. Everybody was just kind of standing there like, okay, we've packed it in and we've done our job. We're protecting the front of the net. But no one actually decided to pick up the player. Like they just let him walk right in and score. Like nobody even noticed he was there.
No, I mean, nobody.
Their defensive coverage is just, it's awful. They want to do the right things, I think, and they think they're doing the right things, but they're not actually covering anyone. Like you watch other people in front of the net, and I'm not saying Charlie McAvoy is a great, defenseman, but if you watch him in front of the net when he's battling with other players, he ties up their sticks most of the time. It's usually not tip goals against him. It's tip goals against other guys who don't tie up other people's sticks when they're in front of the net. Like, Pavel Zacha was standing right there and watched the guy skate in and score. He was standing right there. He was standing next to him.
Yeah.
So, it's one thing to be in the right position. It's another thing to actually fucking play defense. Just because you're standing there doesn't mean you're playing defense. You're just standing there.
Yeah. Pastrnak has 25 points more than the next guy, Marchand. Last year he had 43 points.
He had 100.
Marchand.
He had
110,
and Marchand had 69, I believe.
Yeah. So it was over 40. So yeah, I mean, again, Demon 21 says he thinks there's something wrong with the locker room. I think there might be something to that. I'm not sure what it is, but it's certainly not the same locker room they've had. But look, winning helps and losing doesn't.
Sure.
So if you're sucking and your coach in the beginning of the year just pretty much gave up on you in the organization and had his hands in his pockets, like that doesn't start a good trend.
No.
So that started the year off wrong.
Yeah, I'm just going to correct myself. Marchand had 67. So 110 for Pasta, 67 for Marchand.
43. Yeah.
60 for Coyle, 59 for Zacha, 47 for McAvoy, 40 for Frederic, 40
Well, that's the thing. Zacha has 34. The next guy, the next two guys had 60 and 59 or something. This year it's, 34 and whatever. Like, not a lot.
72, 47, 34, 31, 31.
Yeah. Well, as Beth Patember says, the Bruins need a number one center who can score. Truer words are never spoken. That'll do it for tonight. Bruins lose 4-3 in overtime to the Toronto Maple Leafs, fall behind the Rangers now, and even further into the depths of the earth. Thursday will be the next game with the Islanders at home. We are recording tomorrow night. We'll drop an episode Thursday morning. It's our next episode. Hey, 20% off with the code Sorry John. Get you this great Get Fucking Bent Sorry John t-shirt.
Yeah.
In the merch store. That QR code on your screen. We appreciate everybody listening as usual. Great night tonight for us. Not so much for the Bruins. We'll do it all again soon. Until then, as always, go Bruins.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.